From the depths of internet, we come to you. Bad news, good news, dead horse beating news. Even no news will stop us. We'll make news. Even if it is in dumpster fire. We bring you integrity, except when it's EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Star Citizen, practically all of them. Movies, shows, and other industry bullshit. This totally is not a waste of time, but it sure is. Space Waste News! Okay, today's problems with Scene Switcher. Oh, come on. Well, that's what I get for only doing this once a month. So, well then, greetings there, everyone who are watching on live or in a recording. This is the March Space Waste News, well, things that happened in March. And boy, oh boy, there have been quite a few things indeed. Right, let me just get the list then, but actually quite a lot of game news, surprisingly so, rather than TV actually no, there are a few TV show things as well that I probably should mention. So, well, strap in, there will be some interesting, decent news about, I guess, nerd stuff, I suppose. Tech, TV shows, and games, yes. Some good, some bad, some mediocre. So here we go. Right, well, right then, let's start with not the bad note, just not yet on the bad note. Let's start with actually something really good, right? Those of you that enjoy sadomasochistic tendencies and other stuff like yours truly might see or well have spotted Dark Souls, sorry, not Dark Souls, but Elden Ring DLC finally being announced. The Shadow of Erd 3 being developed, or rather an announcement that is being developed, and whether or not it's gonna be coming sometime this year even, no one knows really, but the fact is they're developing it right now. So Spaceborne, haven't tried it, don't care. Moving on then. After that, oh god, we'll get into that YouTube stuff in just a bit, but yeah, let's continue with basic small news. Right, so it's been a year since Steam Deck has been released. Now, I got my Steam Deck about a half a year ago only. Well, the release of the Steam Deck was around in, oh god, March... middle of March last year, something like that. And the whole year with the Steam Deck, well, it's been interesting indeed. The software has improved quite a bit. There are still plenty of little bugs and issues in the desktop mode, which I still hate to, you know, see quite often, especially the touchpad, right? If you've ever used a tablet, hell, even a phone, right? You'll know how predictive or how easy it is to use the touchpad, essentially, the text stuff, right? And how it almost intuitively, you know, positions the screen for the keyboard to not obscure it. However, that's one of my biggest problems with Steam Deck on desktop. It still obscures, for example, Discord, right? You open a Discord app in Linux, right? It normally opens as a desktop thing, and in Steam Deck, right? Basically, the keyboard, it obscures what I'm writing in, right? The text box, so I can't reread things, and I have to best guess as to whether or not I have wrote things correctly. And some of my friends might know I'm not particularly correct on writing things. I often miss words and all that stuff. But yeah, that's the biggest problem, sort of a quality of life thing that is still missing from Steam Deck indeed. But Star Trek Online PC second day offline. You don't say. But anyways, right. Overall, Steam Deck actually, since its release, has improved quite a bit. Only using it about a half a year now myself, I can personally say that it's extremely good, right? For gaming and for basically watching, media consumption, it's been fantastic. Certainly better than a tablet, which I ended up actually just turning into a Lineage OS, or rather loaded a ROM on it to actually extend its life, which surprisingly it still runs. Probably the most capable tablet I've ever had. Though then again, I've only had 2 of them. But there's a difference between the cheapo crap and high budget stuff back in the day. Right. Well, anyways, what else? Steam Deck. Game-wise, I haven't really tried that many games. But the most recent game that I tried to run on it, if you will. Well, the word "run" is kind of generous there, but yeah, Resident Evil 4 on the lowest settings. No, as I said in the review, for those few who actually have seen it, and I'll talk about that in just a bit. Steam Deck, no, it no go. Oh god. But yeah, there you go. All right. So now overall, Steam Deck is surprisingly wonderful. There was the first sale just recently in March. Let's see, what was the discount? If I remember correctly, the discount was something like 20%, something like that. So you could get the cheapest Steam Deck under a $350. That's impressive for so much performance within it. Of course, yeah, the other versions also had the 20% discount and so on and so forth, but, still, that's the cheapest, and the same performance it has in there. And toss in a $30 250 gigabyte flash card, or hell, if you can get a 512 gig flash, yeah, it becomes a genuinely usable device for a lot of stuff. Oh man, Steam Deck is wonderful, and it's kind of become mundane, and yet it still is kind of a novelty. It really is a wonderful novelty. However, if you follow Linus Tech Tips, and here's a segue for them, there was an interesting Asus Steam Deck-like device, handheld gaming device with more power, and of course, price-wise, they didn't mention it, but obviously it will be more expensive. Though the question is how well it will run. Though it is running on Windows, or will be running on Windows. I'm not so sure about the price to performance thing. However, yeah, Steam Deck does feel limited when it comes to more modern releases. Even something as sightly and unseemly as a Resident Evil 4 struggles to run on it. And, well, sure, it looks all right, but it doesn't feel like it would be that, advanced, if you will, or rather that demanding. But yeah, there's the optimization part of it, I suppose. Well, anyways, speaking of Linus Tech Tips, last month, they got hacked by the good old the Tesla nonsense thingamajig, right? Basically, the whole internet knew about it, and here's a little bit of segue for my fellow creators from the Elite Dangerous side of things. See, one of our creators sadly has fallen a victim to it, and that was a while back when I spotted. Well, not I spotted it, but Minium. Was it you? I don't. No, wait. I don't think it was you. I think it was maybe either you or Dig that. But regardless, Sepulture Geist was one of the creators. From here and there doing some videos, but his channel has been basically fucked over by the same thing that took on Linus Tech Tips. Those that missed news somehow. Basically through not phishing, but oh god damn it, hijacking a session through was it through cookies? I think it was. Oh gosh, the technical terms escape me right now. Need to refresh it. But basically, they were able to simply just access the channel and completely fuck it over. And it was an interesting evening, not day, but the whole day, in fact, for Linus Tech Tips, where basically just seemed that the main LTT channel short circuit and Tech Quickie. I think also Quickie got fucked over. So yeah, the only one that didn't get fucked over was unboxing thing. So yeah. Yeah, that was kind of sad, but eventually they did release, follow up as to what happened, how it happened, and how to potentially protect yourself. Basically not opening links and so on and so forth, but But yeah, it's a lot of fiddle fucking around and checking stuff, and it's I take great precautions to make sure that the my channel stays safe, and specifically look for who sent it, why sent it, and so on and so forth. So hell, even I could become a victim of something like this, and hopefully I won't. But hey, if I do, well, that's my fuck up in a way. But yeah, that'd be pretty horrible indeed. So if you want to support, then make yours truly a little bit more independent from the potential nonsense and fuck ups. Well, check out the Patreon. There's a plug a little bit there too. All right, well, but yeah, basically be very careful as to what you open. No, especially if you're a creator or whatnot else. But hell, even everyone else, right? Two-factor authentication basically is a must-have for anything that you are, not willing to lose at all at any time, right? So yeah, keeping checks on your, cybersecurity is an important thing. And yes, the term tends to be thrown around left and right to a point that some people think it's meaningless, but it's not. That's kind of the thing. It shouldn't be, right? Cherish your memories, cherish your pictures, and make backups. Make sure things are secure, or at least as secure as you can. Of course, not going hypochondriac levels out there, because that's how they get you as well. But making correct moves. How to know which moves are correct? Well, that comes with experience, and of course, listening to what's out there. And hey, YouTube is open for everything, and there are plenty of good suggestions from more knowledgeable folk out there. So, a reminder: just make sure your accounts are safe. Right. After that, oh gods. Right. Let's do one positive one. Okay. Tech stuff, right? Continuing on then with the tech stuff. After the little while, also speaking of Linus Tech Tips review of Ryzen 7950X 3D chips. Basically, the specifically unique Ryzen fifth generation. There we go. Fifth generation CPUs. With extra cache on the CPU have been released, and the reviews are interesting about them. See, in the 5000 series chips, the X3D chip, the 8-core 60-thread chip was actually astonishingly good in some games, not all. Specifically, games that are memory bottlenecked in some form or another, or CPU bottlenecked in general. Basically, if you haven't followed tech that closely, you might not know this saying, but basically, these days, or well, throughout the history, as a matter of fact, throughout the whole development of hardware out there, memory bottleneck, basically memory is the bottleneck part of why let's say CPUs or GPUs, or well, the tech in general can't run as fast as it possibly could. It's basically the supply of information and stuff to the CPU processing units essentially, and alleviating, or rather adding a little bit more extra memory, making the memory faster, is how bigger performance gains are obviously got. Shorter traces, smaller manufacturing dies or processes, and so on and so forth. That's how you majorly improve the performance of your processing units, right? Now, Ryzen, the AMD specifically, have been experimenting with stacking a 3D cache on their CPUs, basically layering more memory within the chips themselves. If you are not familiar with the structure of a CPU, essentially within the CPU there is a small bit of a memory, a very high-speed memory, but because it's first of all a CPU, and second of all because it has to be super high speed, blah 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 blah. Stacking a lot of it in a CPU is basically an impossibility. However, they try to stack into these CPUs as much as it possibly is viable, and that memory serves as the bridge between the CPU tasks that need to be done and the RAM. RAM is already really quick, but it's nowhere near quick enough to compare to the cache on the CPU. Right, so now with these 7000 X3D chips, you can see some interesting differences between games. A lot of games tend to get massive performance boosts, like massive. The same graphics card, but just such a big difference compared to, let's say, twice or thrice as expensive CPUs. It's been an interesting thing. However, these chips specifically haven't been problemless, and of course I'll relegate again to Linus Tech Tips to explain specifics about it, so go check out their reviews about these chips overall. But regardless of it, right now for about $400 you can get a Ryzen 7800 X3D chip, and it will be basically on the same GPU, so much more faster than any Intel or even Ryzen's own normal chips out there, twice or thrice as expensive ones, and that makes for an incredibly cool, sort of little bit of a performance increase, and of course economical choice there. Also, the 7000 series chips right now that have been released are very power conserving compared to Intel, especially right now. So it's my Threadripper, my big ass Threadripper, my second generation Threadripper. I kind of want one. Oh man, not only for the games, but also for the per core performance. And 7000 series chips are, of course, even better at per core performance than the previous generations, let alone the second generation Ryzen. So, oh man, basically yes. The thing is with Ryzen right now, it's basically the only AMD is the gaming CPU choice for everyone, both for economy and for performance. There's both of those. Of course, not to say that Intel doesn't have price competitive choices depending on the region and so on and so forth, but I don't know about that though. I still like Ryzen. I do genuinely like Ryzen for its just raw power, not only, well, mostly for the multi-threaded performances rather than the single core performance for just maximum gaming stuff, since I have to constantly do multiple things at the same time, like record, which you can see right now on the screen, and stream, and other things as well. I choose to go for a more multi-threaded performances, which is why I went with my Threadripper rather than at the time, the second generation, equivalent of a best chip out there. So yeah. But yeah, that's 7,000 chips. Essentially, they are really good for gaming. They're fantastic, and as Linus Tech Tips showcased in their review for some of those X3D chips, you can build a spectacularly good gaming PC with just about $1,400 in your pocket. Hell, if you want to save a buck, yeah, you can drop down quite a bit, and you can have genuinely a really good gaming rig. So yeah. Right, everything's working right. All right, so moving on then from the Ryzen stuff. Let's see. On March, oh gosh, there were a couple of game releases coming. So let's start closer to home. Elite Dangerous. Yes, let's talk a little bit about the Elite Dangerous. So, this month, they finally opened up a little bit to explain about the upcoming changes to Elite Dangerous, or whatever we can expect within about this year. One of those things, as it happens, was the thing that I personally was waiting the most, and that was the one single key feature change. What is it? What it will do? How will it change? These questions we still don't know. Yes, indeed. That's front-end developments for you. Essentially, what developers released in an announcement was saying that, oh, well, we're working on the Targoid narrative, blah, 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 blah. Basically, they're, gearing up to release more caustic-resistant stuff. Expect caustic-resistant shields to come, I don't know, sometime, I would guess, middle of the year, or actually, usually in summer, even Elite Dangerous doesn't release anything, which is weird. So I would say the caustic resistant stuff will probably come sooner, closer to fall, September, something like that. But that's just my guess, my educated guess, if you will. Of course, they could just drop it right now and whatever. However, they announced about that one single key feature. It's delayed for the end of the year. And they didn't even mention what that key feature will be, or what it will do, and how they will do it. It's essentially just saying, oh, it came as a surprise that Targoid narrative happened, so we have to delay this thing. Say what you will about that sort of a planning that they had. A surprise indeed, right? Sure. So yeah, that one key feature that I was genuinely looking forward to, because hey, aside from more crap being piled onto Elite Dangerous, that seemed like the only thing that, went and would be potentially refining the gameplay, or looking back and quality of life update the game a little bit, because God, no, it needs it. But no, let's just keep on cramming, pile on the crap, so the space dads have something jingling in front of their face, and they don't disappear just yet. And that's been the case with Elite Dangerous for a long while. In my Is Elite Dying video, I did mention that stagnation is the biggest killer for the game, and yeah, we can see that quite now. More stuff does not equal better. Why do we need more stuff within Elite Dangerous? Yeah. Anyways, right, so then moving on then, and of course there's a bigger, topic about that stuff, so yeah, anyways. Right, moving then on from Elite stuff. Oh gods, actually, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Let's go with No Man's Sky. And then let's go into the topic that you can see on the screen right there. The new game, Everspace. Right, so No Man's Sky released another update just this month. Actually, 2 days ago. What is it? The Incursion, was it? I don't remember the name of it, but E something. Basically, they added a new type of a ship, Sentinel-based interior, a Sentinel type of a ship. Might need to make a video about it because, hey, everyone seems to care about the ship, so okay, fine. No one seems to care about the fucking reviews. Okay, well, there's the anyways. Right. So, update as always just brings in a few little things. Now you can actually destroy the not fleet carriers, but freighters. There we go. The capital freighters and so on and so forth. They showcase that. Well, in the past, all you could do was just shoot a couple of parts from them and loot some stuff from them, and that's about it, which was fine, I guess, but really nothing outstanding, frankly speaking. A little nice stuff, essentially, for me. Now, Interceptor, there we go. Thank you, Chaps. So yeah, Interceptor, indeed. Some interesting, neat little things. Right after that, the next day, Everspace 2 releases. Now, of course, you could have played Everspace 2 already for the last 2 years. It was in early access, and when I first picked it up when they released on early access, it genuinely was good. Back then, even then, it was good. Now, with the release, well, I'm working on a review, so look forward to that. In fact, after I'm, done streaming this thing, I will be doing a review write-up, and of course, tomorrow, let's see, I'm not sure if I will be able to push out the review for tomorrow, but yeah, regardless, expect the review to come, day after tomorrow, basically Easter something, right? Tomorrow I'm releasing The Last of Us review, and that neatly puts us in a depressing state that I'm getting into, and that is the fucking reviews. Game reviews. No one seems to care about the game reviews when I release them. Yeah, and it's just sad, especially the Resident Evil 4, which released, let's see, Resident Evil 4 released a few weeks ago. Oh god, I don't remember the date specifically, but basically it was about a week before Last of Us. Now, I did play it on stream, I did review it, and today, not today, but yesterday, you could actually witness the review of it, and what I thought about it, and, little things here and there, and so on and so forth. And the saddest thing is, I wake up today and look at the stats, and they are horrific. Like, that poor little video is probably one of the worst things I've seen performance-wise for the first 24 hours I've released it. Yeah, it got me pretty depressed, frankly speaking, because well, in the Twitter as well as the YouTube community tab, I asked, am I delusional, or is it really that bad? And as far as I can tell, no, it's an okay video at most, right? By my personal standards, and hey, it's all right, but yeah, YouTube doesn't seem to be distributing the video. Then of course, well, everyone who's watching my content in the past obviously expect me to do the space stuff or ship stuff, and yeah, I can understand views being quite a bit lower, but the biggest disappointment comes from YouTube, essentially, that you try to make something that you want to make, right? Something out of a left field, but still within the category of, let's say, gaming, right? Make what you want. But YouTube tells, fuck you! No, you won't! And we're gonna punish that content. So yeah, I don't know, That's kind of the thing. Make what you want. Yeah, right. You can't. Sadly, you can't. And, yeah. Makes you wonder, what the fuck am I gonna do, right? Or what the fuck am I supposed to do, right? What the hell does YouTube want from me? Or how do I change it? Because, well, I did try doing a few more game reviews a couple of months back, and even those performed better than this. So, what the hell? Yeah, maybe the video was really just that bad. Hard to say, really. There are considerations that I've been making, on my own, and by the end of the year, I come to a conclusion, I'll make a drastic change for the channel. But until the end of the year, I'll keep doing what I'm doing and producing content as I am. Some of the patrons, if you listen to my commentary tracks for the past game reviews, this, available for all the patrons and supporters of the channel, you might know what's kind of coming or what I've been thinking. It's I'd love to make things that I want to, I'm interested about. But then again, yeah, it's hot tub streams. Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyways, we'll see how Last of Us review does tomorrow. I honestly, after Resident Evil 4, I'm kind of expecting the same thing, really. So that'll be a depressing day as well, but we'll see. Speaking of something depressing, right, Last of Us, right? You don't need to go too far about and sniff out the stank that Last of Us left with the PC port specifically upon release on March 28th. Last of Us Part 1 released on PC. And that's fantastic, right? Finally, this one of the best game stories on the PC finally are arriving on PC, and that is indeed a great thing. Also, I'll talk about Everspace. Kind of forgot about Everspace. Whoops, sorry. Or did I talk about Everspace? God damn it. Okay, Everspace. It's looking like a really good game. You can check it out. Go play it. There's a demo. You can download it and just enjoy it. Why the fuck do I need to say free demo? It's this stupid gaming nonsense has so far warped our perception of what are games, right? That we don't even think that demos should be free and are free always. But anyways, whatever, right? So yeah, Everspace is finally releasing out of early access, and it's it's just, a fully released game, and it's good. It really is good. But it's also a space combat game with, more cartoonish style, so the space dads might not like it that much. They might like it a bit more than, what is it, No Man's Sky, but still, cartoonish and not a super serious thing, right? But no, I do recommend it. Just go check it out and expect the review come after Last of Us. That is end of the week. So there you go. Speaking of Last of Us, the PC port was horrible. Like, it genuinely was a horrible port. Right. First of all, shaders were building for about over an hour, and imagine you picked up Last of Us on PC, you thinking, okay, well, this is my hard-earned $60, and you basically can't play it for the first hour, then realize the performance is really poor, if you will, and sad, frankly speaking, for the PC that you have. Doesn't matter which one, because, well, on all of them, it's the same code running, right? So yeah, the performance, no matter which hardware you're on, is crap. It's just that on better hardware, it's a lot harder to notice, bigger drops and so on and so forth. But regardless. And then after that, shader building hour, essentially you have so little time to realize what that port is before you can ask for a refund. Right. Of course, those of you that are, just buying the game for the sake of buying the game and, expecting it to be fixed eventually, and then playing it, fine. That's fine and dandy, but still, it's kind of a shit state to be in. No, generally speaking, there's quite a bit to say about the port itself, but the game is still the same old good stuff. So, when it's fixed, yeah, maybe pick it up on a discount, I would say. Yeah, go for a discount, rather. Instead, my recommendation is definitely go with Resident Evil 4. And of course, go check out the video review that I did. Please. Alright, moving on then. Right, so, Elite Dangerous, that's done. Okay. Well, let's go from one ditch into another one. Lemnis Gate. Do you remember Lemnis Gate? Yes, that FPS time warping shooter game produced by Rat Loop Games from Canada and published, the second ever published game by Frontier, trying to be the publisher. Right, so that game, it's not even 2 years old, and it's killed. Yes, they didn't just simply turn off the servers and, there's no multiplayer anymore. That game cannot be played without servers. Now, the servers will be going down on, let's see, it was 11th June? Or July, was it? I think it was July. 11th July 2023. So this summer, essentially, they are closing the servers. And because it's an always online game, fuck you. You don't get to play it on PC at all. On consoles, they say that the game will be still playable. I think it was in the tutorial. Yeah, in the tutorial, and that's it. But yeah, all the servers are shut down after that date. Until then, the game is still playable. Now, there are a couple of things that I am looking into, specifically right now about the game. I am in contact with the developers, and hopefully they will be actually answering a couple of questions that I did send them about the game's production, the game's state, and choices they made. Potentially answer a couple of things that I could actually, give to the wider audience, give us all a bigger insight into it. However, the funny thing is, what I can tell you right now is that I tried contacting Frontier, which are supposed to handle all the PR for Lemnis Gate. The deal with from Ratloop Games with the Frontier was that Frontier would handle publishing and the PR side of the game completely, right? And well, I did try contacting them. Some of you might know. Some of you know what happened there. Complete silence. Complete silence from the company. Doesn't matter if I contacted them on the official email, if I contacted them, the official community managers on Discord. The only person that answered me was the Ratloop Games, their own internal PR team. Yeah, and then I'm in contact with them, and hopefully they will, shed some light that I can actually give some insight as to what happened to that game. Because here's the thing: the game won't be playable at all. Past that moment when its servers go down, it's unplayable completely. You spent money on it, and now, not even 2 years later, the game is killed completely. And this is literal case where, also Frontier Developments is involved, but regardless, a game is outright killed, not just simply turned offline, because even in offline you can't play it. And that's a very important thing here. I do enjoy watching a little bit of Ross Scott's content. Those that don't know Ross Scott, he's the one that made the Mind of Freeman, and of course Ross's game Dungeon, where he basically just plays some old school games and does an interesting, insightful commentary from time to time. And especially a couple of years back, he did a wonderful video essay. Investigation, well, not really an investigation, but a video essay on games as a service is fraud. That's the title of the video. Go check it out. It's dry, but you have to listen to it. Another thing that Ross Scott is also commonly known to mention is game preservation and archival. Actually, archival is an important thing. And being able to play your games no matter if the servers are on or off is, I think, a very, very important thing, not only as a just your product for which you paid not being fucked over, but also just purely preservation sake overall. And so this is why the story interested me. See, this is the instance where I see a game literally being killed. Not just simply, developers stop developing it, and that kind of makes the game dead. No, it's literally just developers or the publisher or both deciding that, hey, it's not worth it anymore. Fuck the game. So yeah, that's of course I'll notify everyone within with the video that sooner or later will be released. Of course, I am still waiting for a response from Ratloop Games, which is the only willing party who's willing to communicate with yours truly and actually explain what's going on, potentially with a little bit more detail. However, whether or not they actually enlighten me with something interesting or not, well, there will be a story, that's for sure. There is the story, and yes, it's a small game, but it's also an FPS game, which I care the most about. Be those smaller or larger FPS games, they're near and dear to my heart. So yeah, I find the story very important, at least just for the sake of actually the larger message, which is the game preservation too. So there we go. But anyways, digital ownership is a joke. You don't own the game. Well, that is kind of a problem, isn't it? Well, fundamentally, right? If we buy games on Steam, at least, we are, I suppose the word is entitled to the license of a game, just like it would be with a physical copy, but there's no physical copy, there's a license. So on that side of things, Steam is, at least as far as I remember, at least open on that. But yeah, because there is no physical, version of it. Hell, even if there was a disc, right? Well, the servers are fucked, right? But no, yeah, you're not exactly wrong, right? The age of digitalness, if you will. Well, how do you control, what you own, right? And games, software in general, right? It's a murky, messy thing that fundamentally needs legal backing, and then until we get that, sadly, it's basically a wild west where companies can just do this. What Frontier and Ratloop Games, either which one or by mutual agreement, have chosen to do. So we'll see what goes on with the story there as well. So yeah, look forward to that video whenever that comes, of course. And hell, I would like to review Lemnis Gate one one last time, just for the sake of it. Maybe we'll see. Right. Anyways, right, there were a couple of interesting other stories happening last month. Actually, there were quite a lot of interesting stories happening. The next little story was from YouTube channel called Basically Homeless. They posted a video about AI anti-cheat. Yes, everything's AI these days, and they did an investigation within an AI anti-cheat. After Goat's investigation within Tarko a little while back, showcasing that how easy it is to cheat within Tarko and how prevalent cheaters are in that one game. But it's not the only game out there either, right? Yeah, they actually, you know what? Let me just switch to, let's say, Last of Us. There you go. Perfect. This was my experience day one. Loading screens. And that was after the fucking shaders stopped building. I think this is the moment where the shaders were already built and it still appeared. Fucking Last of Us, man. God damn it. Anyways, right. What was I talking? Ah, right, anti-cheat, right. So after Goat showcased the lack of anti-cheat within Tarkov and the prevalence of hacking, essentially, basically Homeless did a little bit of investigation into some anti-cheats, kind of, if you will. Basically talking about why is there no AI powered sort of an anti-cheat that learns how you play, what you do, and then what behavioral things happen, so that it is potentially an easier way to detect cheating or human behavior, if you will. Now, apparently there is. In their investigations, there was actually one company that already has it running on one big title, which they haven't named yet. But apparently it's very, very successful. And hopefully from the FPS games, which again, I personally am more close to, well, hopefully that will eradicate the majority of the problem fuckers. And statistically speaking, 1 in 3 players will have bought or used some kind of a cheat in a multiplayer game. Oh, actually, no, it's still building there. Okay, so this was the segment where it was still building. Jesus Christ. Okay, here we go. Fucking hell. But yeah, there you go. Now, basically, Homeless also is working on their own anti-cheat version, and it'll be interesting what they come up with the AI stuff as well. But regardless, maybe sooner or later at least, we'll see some really good anti-cheats. And, well, those of you that are in the chats, there's a statistical chance that 1 in 3 of you fuckers have bought cheats and used them in games, multiplayer games. And to that I say, fuck you. Like, fuck you. Genuinely. So yeah. But yeah, speaking of Elite Dangerous and cheating, it's interesting that Elite Dangerous, we don't see a lot of people cheating that much, mostly because everyone seems to be playing in solo, and yeah, that outrageous infinite HP stuff and so on and so forth. That doesn't often come along, but Elite Dangerous is far too easy to hack into and use, well, basically all sorts of programs to make the game play itself. This is the most prevalent thing we can often witness within BGS players. Basically just automating, movement. And that's been a problem since basically day one. And as far as I know, Frontier Developments has never really addressed it because who the fuck cares, I guess. So yeah, that's still a thing. And if you felt that, yeah, in Elite Dangerous no one is cheating and hacking, oh, you sweet summer child, you must be new here. So yeah, fuck them as well. Right, anyways, moving then on, about the Lemnis Gate's done. Right, and last 2 topics. Actually, no, last 3 topics. Speaking of AI, Italy bans ChatGPT. Yeah, this was an interesting story. Essentially, Italy, the government is claiming that ChatGPT is not verifying age, and that they're what is it, the data privacy is not in place, and whatchamahazits and so on and so forth. So Italians are choosing, hey, no, you shall not use the AI tool, bad. Oh, I mean, that to somebody who knows how to subvert or just go around a lot of these walls, shall we say, it's a joke. And for a country to ban a service is often quite a joke. And the same thing goes with TikTok stuff, and there was it in India? Oh, God damn it. There was one country that prevented, or rather, put in place a legislation that TikTok apps should not be put on, or rather, should be banned on government phones, as work phones. And I mean, yeah, sure, that's fair enough. But yeah, also the US ban on TikTok a few years back and the ongoing nonsense that's going. God, but the, but yeah, generally speaking, it's it's a vain attempt. The same thing goes with the China's Great Wall, unless you're really being draconic on how you provide the service and international and national, of course, networking and all that stuff, if you will. It's a joke. Information wants to be free. Bottom line is, information just wants to be free, and one way or another, people will know and get that information. That's as much as Russia would like the information to stay uh, curated. Yeah, word curated would be funny. Information wants to be free. Good luck with that next time, or rather, grow the fuck up, you fuckers. Grow the fuck up. But hey, propaganda exists in every age, I suppose. So yeah, there's that. Right. Right. Last two topics. Diablo 4 beta for the people who decided to pre-order the game is open or was open, and apparently it's mediocre. Also, fuck pre-orders. There you go. And finally, Counter-Strike 2 is announced. Essentially, an upgraded Counter-Strike Go. This will be adding a few lighting things, making a big change to how smoke works. Essentially, smoke grenades, which should have been a case long ago, but well, hey, with new tech and so on and so forth. Counter-Strike Go will be also launching with Source version 2 for Source 2, basically. Finally, just like Dota 2 already has for years now, and right, Half-Life Alyx. Right, Half-Life Alyx was the first full game on Source 2, and it looked phenomenal. Like, it still is the best looking VR game, sorry, not FPS. Though there is a mod, I think, for Half-Life Alyx that you can use to play first person. Yeah, you should be able to play it. There is a mod, yeah. You should be able to play Half-Life Alyx with a mod without a VR. So that's an interesting thing that I still haven't checked. Another thing that I haven't checked on the VR actually is Half-Life VR, which released around last year, something like that. A fan project, essentially, transporting, or rather giving you the VR capabilities within Half-Life 2. That'll be interesting to try out. I'm not sure if it's running on Half-Life Alyx, base, or is it just simply a sort of modded in VR stuff. So yeah, but I noticed it. I need to work on it. Usually I don't have that much time for VR stuff. I just turn on Beat Saber and off I go, essentially. But for this one, I might actually make an exception. Regardless. Right, have I seen Elite Database shutting down? Ah, right. That's a story that I almost forgot as well. Thank you. Yes, I've seen Elite Database shutting down as well. And just like with Lemniscate, I am in contact with the developer. And I do want to bring a big story, or at least as big of a story as I possibly can make, and interesting for you to watch about it. So yeah, I'll try to get as much information and present it as best I can about the whole thing. But yeah, it's sad. It's definitely sad, and it just shows how big of an impact a third-party tool has had on a game with a really bad player support. And that's the big key point that I'll try to hammer home, and that is that under no circumstances, none of you fuckers, okay, none of you should go and harass the developer for his choice to do this, right? If the developer of ADDB chooses to, stop his work and not distribute the code, fine. That's his prerogative. But under no circumstance you should harass the person for. Like, don't be a fucking cunt. Okay? Bottom line is, it just shows that, rather than being, upset about the fact that Elite Dangerous lacks the player support, you're choosing to go after somebody who took their time to make the tools. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people sometimes? And yes, there are a few, indignatious dickheads, essentially. Or indignant dickheads, there we go. So, no, fuck them. Like, fuck those idiots. Genuinely. Yes, there is something to be said about a mod that becomes so well-renowned to, basically be based or basing so many other things off of. And having responsibility to take care of it. Sure, that's a story, of course. But the bottom line is there's a bigger story about the fact that just simply the game makers have not really given a fuck to integrate anything that would compete with it. Or actually alleviate it, or learn from it. And that's the bigger fucking problem. But, anyways, hopefully none of you are that cuntish. So, spread the good word and let the idiots on the forums know that, they can go fuck themselves if they harass the third-party tool developers. Yeah, genuinely. Anyways, as I said, I will try to make a story for it, so look forward to that once I get information from the developer, sometime next week, unless there's, more stuff to talk about, but there you go. Right, and I think that's about it on the topics for this month. Of course, there were a couple of more things. Chats. Actually, yeah, let's do a little bit of chat stuff. If anyone in the chats actually have any kind of a news piece that I haven't covered, let me know. That happened last month. Though I did cover a couple of things that happened this month as well. So, yeah, well, I'm kind of late on the Space Race news. Sorry about that. But yeah. Let's see what else happened this month. Oh, right. Right, while you write that stuff, Mandalorian. Mandalorian is finally, appearing on the screen once more with the season 3, and right now 6 episodes are out, and it's fine. It's fun. It's sort of a slightly more than just a villain of the week or villain of the day sort of a adventure, and yeah. It's not bad. There are a couple of odd things, like the last episode is just... yeah. If you turn your brain off, I suppose that works. But, yeah. Let's see, what else? Last of Us TV show finished, and it finished on a very good note. It genuinely... well, the last episode was... But regardless, it still is the best video game adaptation. Oh, and forgot about one more. Right, one last thing. Mario movie has finally released with Chris Pratt as Mario. I haven't seen it yet, so that's gonna be interesting. Apparently, it's not that bad, from what I gauge from random thumbnails on the internet from time to time. But I don't know. Well, most of all, fuck Nintendo, right? But yeah. Aside from that, I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know when I see it. But yeah, there you go. Right, that's about it on the news for the March. Look forward to April, and yeah, I'm gonna go get depressed in the corner now. Looking at the statistics of my latest video. Maybe I should just simply stick with making same old spaceshipy videos. Yeah, thanks, YouTube. Anyways, on that depressing fucking note, thanks for watching. Of course, join the Discords, check out the other broadcasts for Space Race News. All of them should, well, or at least this year's Space Race News should be public. And all the past broadcasts with me and Pilot from time to time are in a public playlist, so you can always check that as well. And What happened with the YouTube and no notifications? Well, you fucking tell me. YouTube basically is punishing me for not making the same style videos that I was before. You know, as long as you're not making videos about space games or spaceships more specifically, Yemix can go fuck himself, essentially, in YouTube's eyes. That makes very depressing thought, frankly speaking, despite the fact that I've been trying to, you know, make different kinds of videos. Of course, if I stuck to it a bit more, maybe it will work, but yeah. I don't know. It's YouTube stuff. Essentially, there's a lot to say, and oh right, as I said at the start of the stream, there will be some changes to the channel sometime by the end of the year, if not slightly sooner, middle of the year maybe. We'll see. But yeah, it makes for a slightly depressing thought and thinking process there. Well, regardless, I thank you all for watching. There are actually really good stuff coming or have come out in the last month. So yeah, both tech games and hell, even movies and TV shows. So it's good. Other than that, well, I'll see you the next time. Hopefully, I won't forget to stream Space Race News this late next time, but we'll see about that. And that's about it. Take care for now. I'll see you then next time. Now, where the fuck is the button?